Again, there's no surface water standard. 30 micrograms per liter is necessary to protect groundwater users. That's the drinking water standard. The expected effluent is less than 1 micrograms per liter. In this case, based on the public comment that we've received, we put a special condition in the permit that Lundin has to notify us if they ever get to 5 micrograms per liter. That's 1/6 of the drinking water standard. They have to notify us within 24 hours, and once again, we can require them to take appropriate corrective action. Well, we might, oh no, we didn't lose, okay. Take corrective actions, or we could put a limit in the permit, or both. That brings us nicely to the second issue, and that's uranium. We've heard a lot of people concerned that uranium is a hazard at Eagle. The first thing we want you to understand is that uranium is commonly present throughout the Upper Peninsula in certain geological formations. About 70% of Upper Peninsula drinking water wells that have been sampled have detectable levels of uranium. 15% of those are greater than the drinking water limit of 30 micrograms per liter. So it's not unusual in the Upper Peninsula to find uranium. At Eagle, the water is in contact with their development rock, or the rock they use to make the tunnel to get to the ore body, in what's called the temporary development rock storage area. So we sampled that water, and the concentration is 0.13 micrograms per liter. So the water that's generated at Eagle has very little uranium in it. And that water all goes through a reverse osmosis treatment system, which is one of the systems that EPA recommends for treating uranium if you need to treat it for drinking water. So again, we don't ever expect to see any detectable levels of uranium in this discharge. And the way we handled it, as I covered at the last slide, is to put that notification limit in the permit. The third and very exciting issue was the groundwater standards have been exceeded 47 times in the groundwater monitoring wells with no enforcement action. That one has drawn a lot of ire, and so we want to deal with that tonight. 2/3 of those exceedances in the groundwater wells occurred prior to the Eagle discharge. So obviously they were not caused by this discharge. About 1/4 of them occurred after the discharge, but they were in the same wells as the ones that had the exceedances before the discharge, and at about the same levels. Again, this does not appear to be in any way caused by the Eagle discharge. The other 7% were from a well that was disturbed during construction, and since it has been fixed, it's back in compliance. Now, the other side of this is, what is Eagle discharging? For all the metals that were found in these wells that exceeded the groundwater standard, have never been detected in Eagle effluent at levels above the groundwater standard. So again, there's no connection between this discharge and those exceedances, and that's why we haven't taken any compliance action. The exceedances are naturally occurring problems, and we're going to get to that later on in the presentation. One thing to note is you might think it's unusual that natural conditions would result in violations of groundwater quality standards. But there are 180 public water supplies in Michigan that have installed arsenic treatment systems because the naturally occurring arsenic in the groundwater is above the drinking water standard. So it's not that unusual of a thing in Michigan.